today's session of Divorce Court. When Angelina and Raymond got married, they thought life together would be a dream. But now she says, together their life has become a nightmare.
All I ever wanted was to be married, have kids, have the little fairy tale life.
When I married her, I thought I married a wife. Instead, I married a party animal.
He denied that he even had kids, that he was even married.
Would you call it a good mother coming home at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning?
Don't ask me what I would call it, because you may not want to hear what I would call it.
He used to make me cry on purpose.
In reality, marriage is not like the fairy tale.
Today, Angelina Cardona and Raymond Gutierrez face off in divorce court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Angelina Cardona versus Raymond Gutierrez. I understand that after 2 years of marriage, you're ready to stop, to give it up?
Your Honor.
Ms. Cardona, what's the problem?
Your Honor, I realized that Raymond had no more love for me.
Your Honor, excuse
Let
me.
her finish hers.
All he cares about is his car and money. Your Honor, 5 months ago when I got into a car accident, I came home hysterically crying. I was confused. Everything seemed to be just like crowding up on me just one day. And he never asked me if I was hurt or okay. He asked
I think that's what she's complaining about now. You didn't hear her, so hear her.
He didn't. All he asked about was the car.
Didn't care whether you were injured or not.
Nope.
And you want to end the marriage because of that?
I have 2 children, and you know, he goes. Sometimes when he would come home from work, he would only care about what happened at work. He would come home sometimes frustrated at work and take it out on me.
So you think that he is not in love with you anymore, just his car and his money?
That's it, because all he cares about is money. That's it.
What about that, Mr. Gutierrez?
Your Honor, first of all, when I married her, I thought I married a wife. Instead, I married a party animal. I had to stay home, okay? Well, she went out. She wouldn't come home till late hours of the night. The next day, I would have to go to work.
So you're saying that you worked?
I worked.
And that's why you want the marriage to end?
No, all she worried about was just having money. She wanted to have money to go.
Well, wait a minute. She said all you worry about is money.
No. It was the other way around.
Well, do either of you have any money, since you saying both only worry about money?
That's not
Me,
true, Your
I'm
Honor.
just working. I go home for work, and I go home to my son.
So you're saying that you don't have any money?
No, I don't.
So maybe that's what she's worrying about, that there is no money.
I supported him. I'm the one that had to make him go to look for a job and tell him to keep calling the job to make sure that they accepted his application.
And now it's your turn and he's not there. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And, you know, I supported him, you know, for a long time, paid the bills.
Every other day,
he watched my children, our children.
I wouldn't call it a long time. 2 years is not a long time for a marriage.
But Your Honor, I mean, every day that I wasn't working, I had it rubbed into my face.
Almost 5 years.
Every day I had it rubbed into my face.
How long were you not working?
I was not working for about like 6 months.
So you were out of work for about 6 months?
That's right.
And during that time, your wife kept throwing it up in your face?
She was throwing it in my face.
No. That is not true.
Every morning I would hear it.
I was being told that I'm not a good mother, that I'm not a good wife.
Would you call it a good mother coming home at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for partying?
Your Honor,
don't ask me what I would call it, because you may not want to hear what I would call it.
Your Honor, when I was pregnant,
tell me, what were you doing to 2 o'clock in the morning with a small child?
This was way after. When I was pregnant with our son, I would stay home. I didn't have no kind of friends. I didn't do anything. I stayed home. He used to make me cry on purpose. He used to tell me that it was funny. Yes, that it was funny. I was emotional. I was pregnant. I mean, when you're pregnant, you're emotional. He said that he didn't care if I left, that he would help me pack my bags and take them to the car.
So that's why you started to go out?
No, I was pregnant 2 years in a row, okay? I didn't have no time.
You're a young woman. You got married. You had 2 children, pregnant 2 years in a row. No fun. It was time to go out and do something. You sort of got tired of sitting at home taking care of the babies.
Yes,
but Your Honor, she said she stayed home with the kids. It's funny how she always dropped off my son to my mother's house.
Your Honor, He says that
Did you have that child by yourself?
No, I didn't.
So try these words, our
Your
son.
Honor.
That's right.
Your
It's
Honor.
our son, but she's always dropping him off at my mother's
He
house.
says that being a full-time mother is not a job. To me, it is a job. Taking care of 2 small children, they're only a year apart. I think that is a job.
It's a big job. And what
Exactly,
happened
but
was
if
that
he
job kind of
figures if
overwhelmed
it-
you after a while, right?
Yes, but see, through my whole time being with him, I tried working. A lot of times I couldn't work, just like my
You
last.
probably couldn't afford the cost of a babysitter for 2 babies.
My last job, I had to, when he left me, I had to quit my job because I didn't have child care, Your Honor. I had
How much
to
is
deal
child
with it
care
on
for 2
myself.
babies?
I don't even know.
Probably more than you'd earn, I would say, or at least half your pay. You don't even have a clue.
Your Honor, he
So
would be.
why do you think she should go to work then if you don't know what it would cost to care
Your
for
Honor,
2 children?
First of all, she keeps calling. Why does she keep calling me at work? If she wants more money, I give her money for the rent, and she turns around and spends it on something else.
Obviously, you
I
all
pay
aren't
her
communicating
electricity
at
bill.
home.
I pay her electricity bill, and she turns around and spends the money.
Your
You
Honor,
pay her
I pay-
electricity bill?
I pay.
I
I
have
have stayed and I'm
documents.
paying it.
So if you pay the bill, how does she turn around and spend it? You give her the money?
I give her the money.
So you're saying that she'll call you now
Right.
that you're separated, tell you her electricity bill is due and the rent's due, you give her the money, and then she spends it on other things.
Right.
Then she
Quote-
calls you again asking you for more.
Right.
Quote, Your
And you're
Honor,
tired of doing that.
I
tired of
only
doing that.
asked
I mean,
him
I'm just
for
forking
a
out more
little
money.
bit of money. Maybe
How long have you been
20
separated?
Give or take around 6 months.
Maybe
All right.
$20 or $40 I would ask him just to help me out a little bit with the bills.
Over and above the rent and the utilities?
Just, yeah, for my daughter.
So
Where
you're
I
just
could
saying
take
that all
care
he
of
gives you is $20, not the
$20,
rent?
$40. If he has it in his pocket, then he'll give it to me.
Wait a
Documents
minute.
stating-
He's saying that he gives you money for rent. Is that
He-
true or not?
No, he used to give me money
no.
for rent.
Your Honor, I
He
stopped
told
giving her
me
money when I
about
found
a
out
month
that
and
she
a half
wasn't
ago,
paying her
2
rent.
months. About a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, he told me that he wasn't gonna give me no more money, that he wasn't gonna help me out.
So
and if
now
it
what are
ris-
you doing since he told you that he's not going to give you any more money and he's not going to help you
I
out?
got a job recently. I just lost my job, but I got a job working nights doing waitressing. That's how.
And
it was
who's caring
getting-
for the children?
My friends caring for my children.
No,
So
not
is
both
he
children.
rolling in dough that he can pay for your rent and his rent too?
No.
You
She's
making
not-
that kind of
First
money?
Her
Your
friend's
Honor,
not watching both kids.
He doesn't pay rent,
My-
Your Honor.
my
Are you
son-
watching them?
No, my son is with my mother.
Your
Okay.
son is with your mother.
Right.
Where's her
Recent.
son?
Recent.
Right.
Our son,
Our
is,
son
with
is with my-
his mom.
with my mother.
Recent.
So
That's
your
because-
mother cares for the son.
My son.
But see, Your Honor, both
The
kids,
children have been split up?
Right.
Well, yes, both kids. His family won't have both of my children there at the same time.
Why aren't you taking care of him? Why are they with
I'm
your
at work
son,
all
with
day.
your family?
I'm at work all day.
Do you live with your family?
I stay at my mother's. Yes, I do.
So you're living at your mother's house
Right.
and you're assisting your mother in
Right, I'm
paying
helping
the
her out.
utilities.
That's
But you
right.
have a son,
Who
is
stays
it
with me.
daughter.
a
And a
daughter,
daughter.
and your wife is not working,
Your
That's
Honor,
right.
the
And
house
and you're not
that-
giving her anything.
the house
No.
that
When I was giving her money, she was going out spending it.
How do you know?
How do I know?
Yes.
Because I gave her $400 cash. Okay. The same day she called me up and told me she needed more money because she had to go buy stuff.
How much is the rent?
$500. That's a
So
three-bedroom
if you
house.
gave her
It's too much of a
$400,
house
she
for her.
did need another $100.
When divorce court returns, Angelina testifies about Raymond's other life.
But still,
Oh, Mr. Gutierrez, she about to tell me something you don't want me to hear.
he denied that he even had kids, that he was even married.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce Court is back in the case of Angelina Cardona as she accuses her husband Raymond of having other women on the side.
Your Honor, when he was at my house, all the time, you know, sometimes I would go to shopping or whatever, had to buy some things for whatever it was that I needed. And he would call girls from the payphone, okay?
First of all,
he would
okay,
leave my
when I was
children.
Oh, Mr. Gutierrez, she about to tell me something you don't want me to hear.
I ran into one of the girls, and we just happened to come across the conversation of who we know as friends. Now,
Okay.
I asked her
Your Honor.
if she knew my husband. She said, "Who's your husband?" I said, "Raymond Gutierrez." She said, "I didn't know that he was married." She told me that he denied that he even had kids, that he was even married. I mean, we just got into this
Well,
big
would that
conversation.
surprise you? You sound like you were a glutton for punishment. You should have ended that conversation then.
No, but I mean, for him to be cheating on me a year and a half ago,
wasn't
while I
never
was
cheating
at
on you.
home with
I
my
have
2
never
kids.
cheated on you.
Well,
No, he
Never
would lie
cheated.
to me,
but how
tell me
did you?
that he was working
A
late.
stranger told you this. You don't know anything about this woman. And she told you that she did that, and you just automatically accept it and believe it.
She jumped to conclusions.
That doesn't make good sense. You should at least
when
talk to your husband first.
When I asked him about it, he didn't deny it, and he said it was true.
At least I didn't lie to her.
You did confirm it before you believed it.
I didn't lie to her.
Yes.
I told her. I talked to her.
I did.
That's it. That's as far as it went.
So you did talk to this girl.
That's right. I did.
Your Honor,
what's the difference of
all
her
I
getting
ever
pages?
wanted was to be married, have kids, have the
Married,
little
having
fairy tale
kids.
life. You know, white picket fence.
married a
You know,
party
that was the
animal. You're
problem.
talking about having...
Stop. That was the problem. You wanted a fairy tale life. And marriage is not
But
a fairy tale, it's reality.
I never gave up on him. I never gave up on him.
Ain't gonna never
It was
happen.
me, the one that always went back to him when he would
Well, that's
leave me.
because you were still living in the fairy tale. Let's live in reality. In reality, marriage is not like the fairy tale. There are some good times and some bad times. There is some people who do things wrong, and you have to do a little forgiving, and you have to do a little putting up with the imperfections that we have as human. It's not a fairy tale all the time.
Your Honor,
That's right, Your Honor.
Including when he's not working and can't give you all the money you
Your
want.
Honor, there wasn't nothing that I wouldn't do for him. Even when we separated, I was always there for him. All the names and everything that he's ever told me bad was like, you're not a good mother, and you're not, what kind of person are you? You're not a good wife. You're nothing. You'll never amount to nothing.
But even when he tells you that, you don't have to believe it. Give her a Kleenex, please, Joe.
I mean, Your Honor, first of all, she didn't want to do nothing for herself. She wanted to stay home. She never cleaned up the house. The house was always trashed.
Because I had 2 kids in a row, it was hard for me to find time.
It means that you're busy all day as a mother with 2 small children. But again, those are the choices we make. You have to think about that before you have these babies and before you get married. What does that mean? It means that I don't have much time to myself. That's what it means.
When he left me, Your Honor, he told me that he wasn't going to leave me stuck with any kind of money problems.
I wasn't leaving her stuck. I was giving her money.
Then again, somewhere down the road, he left me stuck.
Well, he stopped paying the bill somewhere down the road. You said he paid it for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, because he was paying his truck payments. That's
How many months do you think he's supposed to pay it before you go to work and try to pay it for yourself?
I was working, but I can't, I don't make that much money to pay everything.
But Your Honor, through the whole time that I had
left. So how
left...
much more time do you think he should pay?
Just to help me with the bills that he left off on. That's
What
it.
bills did he leave?
He left me with the gas and light bills and some of the rent, $300 in rent.
But Your Honor, I told her, if I give you the money, you make sure you pay the bills.
So why don't you just pay the person directly? Why do you have to say, if I give you the money, make sure you...
I'll pay it myself.
Your Honor,
but the thing is, though, if I'm going to keep giving her money, she keeps calling my job up every morning, every lunchtime, every afternoon, talking about she needs money.
Wait a minute, let's talk about these 2 bills now that she's talking. She says there is back rent of $300 when you left. That's still owing. Mm-hmm. You agree with that?
But ask her where the $300 went.
Why should I ask her? Tell me.
The $300 that she had, she spent.
So you gave it to her already?
I gave it to her, but she's turned around and spent it.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict. And an update on the case of Nikki Weichel versus Jim Weichel.
He was leading a double life. He had kissed a woman on her breast. He has pulled women over on the side of the freeway, gotten phone numbers.
You tell tall tales just like you, right?
Divorce Court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce Court is back and the verdict is in the case of Raymond Gutierrez, who says his wife Angelina was more interested in partying with friends than being a wife and mother.
Now, are you paying her child support regularly?
No, I'm not.
Why not?
Because lately it's been nothing but a big headache. Every time I go over there to talk to her, it's nothing but a big fight.
Oh, now here goes a big headache that keeps me from paying child support.
No, I'll pay the child support.
You know how you pay child support? You don't have to worry about the head. You write a check.
That's right.
Or you take some cash. Or you send it through the mail. You don't have to go over there.
Your Honor, the thing is, though, she'll go to my mother's house.
No, you don't have to go to her house.
I'm not talking about going to her. She'll come to my mother's house.
She doesn't have to come to your mother's house because you're going to send it to her on a regular basis and nobody has to go anywhere. You won't have to hear anything. Just send it. Now, since you're saying that you pay the rent, but she doesn't give it to the landlord, you give her the money, but she refuses to give it to the landlord, you're $300 behind? Is that what you said? Okay. Now, here's the solution. Give it to the landlord. $300. Pay it to the landlord directly. Get a receipt so you can have verification that you've paid the landlord. You have a utility bill. How much is it?
$293.
Now, that's not 1 month's utility.
No, we fell behind when we were still together. We fell behind in bills.
No.
Well, now I have to put some of the responsibility on you, Ms. Cardona. I can't put it all on him.
But see, Your Honor, the reason why the bill's so high is that they got a habit of leaving all the lights on all night. So what am I supposed to do? I'm not going to sit
I'm
there
not
and
going to
fork
put
out all
all
this
the
money.
responsibility on you. You have to accept some of this responsibility. You can't expect that your husband is going to support you and give you all the money. He's not. Are you making that much money?
No.
What is your monthly salary about?
Monthly salary, I'm making about $1,200.
Rarely is there enough money when people divorce for two families, when you're paying two sets of bills. It's hardly enough when you're only paying for one household, the average family. On his income, you didn't have enough for one household, so you know it's even worse for two households. Unfortunately, it means that somebody else has to go to work, which means you, Miss Cardona, because you got to help.
Now it's gonna be a big problem with childcare. That's the thing.
Well, he's saying that his parents take care of your son. Why won't your parents take care of your daughter?
Is that my mother's really ill.
Okay.
Okay. My mother, she can barely handle my son because my son, he's only 4. So
Yeah,
he's
I can understand you. It's hard to handle a 4-year-old,
Yeah.
especially if you're ill. Now, what about your friends? Why can't one of them help you take care of your daughter?
One of them is helping, like, right now, one of them is taking care of my daughter. But also, you know, I don't have the money to pay her all the time either for her to watch my daughter.
I understand
And she
that.
has a son of her own, that's 4.
What I'm saying to you is you've got to get a job. You got to learn the budget. You got to pay what you can pay. Ask friends, ask relatives to help you take care of your daughter. His parents are taking care of your son.
Well, he also has his sister at home, too.
And what am I supposed to do, make his sister take care of your child?
Your Honor, when he has his day off, he still doesn't see my daughter, okay? Recently it was her birthday, okay?
You want to get off into another issue. That's an issue of whether he wants to see the child or not. And you should do that, but I'm not going there. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about meeting your expenses, the rent and the utilities. That's a custody issue. You do need to see her on a regular basis. So here's the court's order. That bill is $300, you said?
My rent?
The rent is $300 in arrears. I'm ordering you to pay that, Mr. Gutierrez, and $100 toward the utility bill. That's overdue. For the next 2 months, you pay her $250 each month in this manner. Pay it directly to the landlord.
Okay.
It's your responsibility to come up with the other half. Directly to the landlord. By then, she should have found a job.
So
Excuse me?
Oh, I was just going to say, but she keeps harassing me at work. I mean, I'm coming close to losing my job because she harasses me at work.
Well, Mrs. Cardona is going to use her head and understand that if she keeps calling you, you won't be able to give her a dime because he won't have a job. That's not too wise. Keep paying the $250 per month because it's going to be as in for child support, but you'll pay it in the form of paying the landlord directly. And that will assist her in paying the rent and helping to keep a roof over her head for the children. Unless and until you get a different order for child support. That's the court's order. You understand that? So ordered. Court's adjourned.
When Divorce Court returns, an update on the case of Nikki Weichel versus Jim Weichel.
Fact was, you had an affair. To get back at me.
I call it moving on.
Closed captioning for Divorce Court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. Jim and Nikki seemed like total opposites, but their attraction was undeniable and they got married. Now, after 8 years and 2 children, Nikki wants a divorce. She says Jim spent more time in strip clubs than he did with her.
He was leading a double life. He had kissed a woman on her breast. He has pulled women over on the side of the freeway, gotten phone numbers.
You tell tall tales just like you, right?
Nikki was furious that Jim had worn his wedding ring to the strip clubs and wanted the judge to give her back his ring.
He's got my last 8, 9 years. I want my heart back.
Fact was, you had an affair. To get back at me.
I call it moving on.
The judge decided that Jim should keep his wedding ring. Nikki is now in law school and plans to marry her current boyfriend.
There's nothing I could do. You know, I'm just satisfied it's over.
I think it's fair because I have 2 children, and I think that he should be helping me pay when he left me with no money.
I will never, ever get married again.
I'm gonna do my best, what I can do, and take it from there.